The courtroom was already tense before she walked in, the kind of tension that buzzed quietly under whispered conversations and shuffling feet. When a bailiff called for order, the room settled, but eyes kept drifting toward the woman in the front row. Her name was Karen Mitchell, mid-40s, perfectly pressed blazer, chin lifted in permanent indignation. She had arrived early, arguing with the clerk, complaining about the temperature, the seating, the wait. By the time Judge Judy entered, everyone could feel something was off. "All rise," the bailiff announced. The room stood. Karen stood too, but slowly, dramatically, rolling her eyes as if the ritual itself offended her. Judge Judy took her seat and looked out over the courtroom. "Good morning," she said. Karen muttered, "We'll see." Judge Judy raised an eyebrow, but continued. "Ms. Mitchell, you're here regarding a civil dispute involving harassment and a violation of a restraining order." Karen scoffed loudly. "Harassment? I was defending myself." Judge Judy looked down at the file. "You sent over 50 messages in one night." Karen snapped, because she deserved it. A murmur spread. Judge Judy looked up sharply. "You will not speak unless I ask you to." Karen crossed her arms. "I'll speak whenever I want." Judge Judy's voice remained calm. "That will not go well for you." Karen laughed. "I'm not scared of you." The plaintiff, a younger woman, sat stiffly at the other table, eyes fixed on her hands. Judge Judy turned to her gently. "Tell me what happened." As the woman spoke about late-night messages, threats, and showing up at her workplace, Karen interrupted repeatedly. "Liar. She's exaggerating. This is ridiculous." Judge Judy finally raised her voice. "Enough." Karen slammed her hand on the table. "Don't yell at me." The room went silent. Judge Judy leaned forward. "You are not in charge here." Karen stood abruptly. "You think you're so powerful sitting up there." Judge Judy replied evenly. "Sit down." Karen didn't. "No." The bailiff stepped closer. Judge Judy held up a hand. "Ms. Mitchell, this is your warning." Karen pointed at the bench. "You judges are all the same. Power-tripping bullies." Judge Judy's eyes hardened. "One more outburst, and you'll be held in contempt." Karen laughed, sharp and loud. "Contempt? For what?" "Telling the truth." She took a step forward. The bailiff moved again. "Ma'am, step back." Karen snapped, "Don't touch me." Judge Judy stood. "Ms. Mitchell, you are out of order." Karen's face flushed red. "You don't get to talk to me like that." Judge Judy replied, "I absolutely do." Karen shook her head in disbelief. "I pay your salary." A collective gasp rippled through the room. Judge Judy didn't flinch. "Sit down." "Now." Karen's breathing quickened. "You think you're better than me?" Judge Judy said calmly. "I think you were seconds away from making a very bad decision." Karen scoffed. "You can't do anything to me." She stepped closer to the bench, anger boiling over. "You're just a TV judge. You're nothing." The bailiff reached for her arm. Karen jerked away and, in a sudden flash of rage, swung her hand. The slap echoed through the courtroom, sharp and shocking. Time froze. Judge Judy staggered back half a step, stunned not by pain, but by disbelief. The room erupted in chaos. "Ma'am!" the bailiff shouted, grabbing Karen's arm. Karen's face went pale as reality slammed into her. "I didn't mean." Judge Judy recovered instantly, her voice cutting through the noise like a blade. "Arrest her. Now." The courtroom fell dead silent again as handcuffs snapped shut around Karen's wrists. "Wait!" Karen screamed. This was a misunderstanding. Judge Judy's expression was steel. "You assaulted a judge." Karen's bravado collapsed. I'm sorry. The bailiff pulled her back. Karen looked around wildly, searching for support, but found only stunned faces. Judge Judy sat back down slowly. "Let the record reflect that the defendant struck the court." Karen's voice broke. "Please, I'll apologize. I didn't know." Judge Judy cut her off. "Ignorance is not a defense." Karen sobbed as she was dragged toward the exit. "I didn't mean it. She provoked me." Judge Judy replied calmly. "You are responsible for your actions." Reporters scribbled furiously. The plaintiff stared in disbelief. Judge Judy turned to her. "Are you all right?" The woman nodded, tears streaming. Yes, Your Honor. Judge Judy nodded. The restraining order stands and is extended. She turned back to the bailiff. Charge her with assault and contempt. Karen screamed as the doors closed behind her, the sound echoing down the hall. Inside the courtroom, no one spoke. Judge Judy took a breath. Court will take a brief recess. Outside, Karen was pushed into a holding area, hands shaking, makeup smeared, the reality finally crashing down. This can't be happening, she whispered. An officer looked at her evenly. You slapped a judge. Karen sank onto the bench. I lost control. The officer replied, and now you lose your freedom. Back in the courtroom, Judge Judy returned, composed as ever. We will continue, she said. The law does not pause for tantrums. Word spread fast. Within minutes, news alerts buzzed across phones. Karen Mitchell, arrested for assaulting Judge Judy. 30 seconds had changed everything. At booking, Karen's voice trembled as she gave her name. I'm not a criminal, she said weakly. The officer replied, actions decide that. She was placed in a cell, the door clanging shut with finality. Karen sat on the cold bench, replaying the moment again and again. The slap, the command, the cuffs. In the courtroom, Judge Judy finished the docket with steady precision. When asked later how she felt, she answered simply, no one is above the law. By the end of the day, Karen was formally charged and denied immediate release. The judge's bench had been wiped clean, the room restored to order. But the lesson lingered in the silence left behind. Rage does not create power. Disrespect does not win arguments. And in a courtroom, one reckless second can erase a lifetime of entitlement. The night stretched long inside the holding facility, fluorescent lights buzzing softly above Karen as she sat alone on the hard bench. The anger that once fueled her now drained away, replaced by a hollow ache in her chest. Every sound echoed too loudly. The distant clank of doors, the muffled voices of officers, the shuffle of footsteps passing her cell. She replayed the moment over and over, wishing she could rewind 30 seconds, wishing she had listened, wishing she had sat down. But the law did not rewind. Hours later, she was escorted into a smaller courtroom for arraignment, wrists cuffed, eyes swollen from crying. The judge read the charges slowly. Assault on a judicial officer, criminal contempt, disorderly conduct. Each word felt heavier than the last. Bail was denied. Karen's knees nearly buckled. She whispered, please, but the word dissolved into the air, meaningless now. Back at the original courtroom, Judge Judy reviewed the incident report carefully, her expression firm but composed. She refused special treatment, refused drama, insisted the process move forward exactly as it should. This isn't about me, she said quietly to the clerk. It's about the rule of law. News coverage exploded overnight. Clips replayed endlessly, frozen frames of Karen's raised hand followed by the unmistakable command to arrest her. Commentators argued. Viewers reacted. Days passed slowly, marked only by meal trays sliding through a slot and brief head counts.